Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Accessing the Sacred Heart, creating a unified field through song, meditation, and collective intent with Omashar. Welcome, Omashar.
Good morning and namaste, everybody, from a lovely, warm, balmy uh, Colorado weather. We have 4 degrees Fahrenheit here at the moment, so it's a little nippy. However, I'm used to the extremes of climate, so there we are. So, how's life for you,
Thank
Carissa?
you. It's wonderful. Thanks for asking. I love how you have one name. It's like Prince, Omashar, you know?
It
That's
is.
great.
It's interesting. I've always gone by that. It's not my birth name, and
Uh-huh.
there's a lovely story on how I actually got that name. My birth name is actually Nicholas, and I rarely say that. However, I'm in a state of total surrender because this year, 2025, the year of the full divine feminine coming back into all of our hearts, male or female, is, the game is on. Now is the time. We're the ones we've been waiting for. All that rhetoric, it's now. And so I'm just in a completely transparent, surrendered place. And my birth name of Nicholas is Greek, meaning leader of the people. And I go, really, me? Why not? And
Beautiful. Well, we're so happy everyone is here. I'm Charissa Sims, live event host with Humanities Team, a 501(c)(3) nonprofit organization whose mission is to make conscious living pervasive worldwide by 2040. And I'm coming to you live from Lafayette, Colorado. And Omashar and I are actually pretty close. We could have done this from the same studio, maybe. I'm in Lafayette. And where are you connecting from?
I'm connecting from Broomfield, actually, where they used to in the fields out here, they have this short um, kind of corn stalk, and I think they used to make it into brooms. I'm either making that up or it's true. So anyway, Broomfield, just about 25
Oh
minutes
my
from Bolton.
gosh, that's
I
so
know
fascinating. Thank
it
you for
is.
sharing. I also wanted to welcome Omashar's audience, those streaming live through the Humanities Team Facebook page, Humanities Team YouTube channel, and Stream Plus members that are here with us now. Thank you for being members, and some of you for being on camera. I appreciate you. And I wanted to do a special shout out to the Sign Network with John and Summer Raymer at Sign.network. They're doing an incredible campaign right now for peace called Compassion Games MLK to Ali 40 Days of Peace and Greatness, happening now until March 1st. And you can join at compassiongames.org/oneworld. Because this is a live program with Omashar, we will have time for comments and questions. So try to get your question in within the first half of the show, first 30 minutes, and you can post it into the chat wherever you're watching, and you'll get your question answered. So let me share a little bit about Omashar. Omashar is an accomplished singer, songwriter, and transformational workshop facilitator who has traveled our beautiful earth extensively, sharing his divinely inspired music, which he terms metapop, at conscious global gatherings. In fact, Omashar was sharing how many he's done online, which is pretty impressive. What was that number that you shared? How many you've done?
It's somewhere above 425 shows online. It's unbelievable because as the little worldwide thing happened and everything screamed to a halt for some reason, not for some reason, serendipity. I believe in serendipity. I don't even believe in it. It's true. Just opened up, and I found myself working with, of course, Scott Katamas on the Awakening World show. And between his show and several other shows that I do around the world, I've done over 425 shows in the last 3 years, and only 5 live in-person events, one of which was last week up here
Oh,
in Boulder with Dr. David Martin, of course.
Oh,
World
amazing. Maybe we can
Senses.
talk about that in a little bit. Well, Omashar's music celebrates the connection of all life and the journey we all take home to our true selves. So happy to be with you today. And how did you discover your love for music?
That's could be a deep rabbit hole, but I'll make it one that they've just filled up and a little bit with honey, Paddington Bear. My mother taught me piano at 3, and she didn't know how to play the piano. She got a book out and taught me, and I was brought up playing classical music. And then as soon as I could, I ran away from home. I didn't just left home. I went to New Zealand, and I started playing in pop rock bands. And I'd always had a penchant for the otherworldly and things the other side of the veil. But I got actually. Brought into a field of pop rock. And I was pretty successful with a band that I was in New Zealand. And then we had we were a one hit wonder with a song called "Rome Wasn't Built in a Day," and that was the beginning of my communication with spirit. And it was talking about the reunification of us as one. That Rome wasn't built in a day. It's not going to be done in the flash of an eye that we're going to come back into wholeness again. But anyway, I found that I was half empty writing that music. All the music started off kind of spiritual, then it ended up into personal relationships like, isn't it wonderful that we're all one? But how about you, babe? And I just got really sick of writing that. And I had a kind of a crossroads, a dilemma, because I was living on a little island called Waiheke Island, just off the coast of Auckland in northern New Zealand. And I was starting to get really cognizant of the world around me, of life, of the ocean, of the breath, of the stars. And I got an invite, long story short, to come and play at an event a spiritual event in Virginia, in the States, of course. And well, not of course, there's probably other Virginias in the world. And I had a dilemma. I was in 3 successful bands in New Zealand, one top of the charts, but I was so hollow inside. I just could not see myself moving forward at all. And I wanted to find out whether this invite to Virginia was genuine and whether it was a part of my path. And so I went onto the beach and on Waiheke Island, and I said, God, Goddess, all that is, I need a sign. If this is something that I should do and change my life, I want a sign and I want it right now. And I do not want just a shooting star or things like that. I want shooting stars that go straight up in the air. And within a nanosecond, 5 shooting stars went. This sounds unbelievable, but I'm saying it because it was true for me anyway. They shot up into the air. And I went, oh, SH1T, because I'd made a commitment that if I had a sign, I was going to completely, literally leave my life in New Zealand, the 3 bands, and just jump on a plane and go onto this new adventure. And this is coming to a close, this little soliloquy, Charissa. However, what happened was I had no money to do what I needed to do. I needed about 5 grand to get a ticket. And basically, what happened was I was walking around a music shop one day, and it just so happened that an American CEO from a keyboard company was doing a promo in a music shop in Auckland, and
Uh-huh.
we chatted with each other, and he said to me, "I hear your dilemma. What you can do, sell your keyboard here, and when you come to the States." Knock on my door and ask my secretary and remind me of this conversation, and I will gift you a brand new keyboard which you can borrow for as long as you want until you can afford to buy your own keyboard. And it's like, is this serendipity or what? And so I started to trust. I sold all my meager world possessions in New Zealand and my keyboard, and I was going to an event and I had no keyboard. It was just trust. I arrived in Virginia, rung up this company. It was called Ensoniq at the time. And within 2 days, I had a brand new keyboard with a note saying, best of luck, give it us back when you can afford your own. And from that moment, I started writing 100% music, which was being downloaded for me only when I was in a really high state of consciousness. And then from that stepping stone, I went around the world in the last 2 decades, 35 countries, many of them again and again and again on spiritual events and peace, global peace gatherings, without any advertising, without ever putting my advertising hat on, just all by word of mouth. And part of me is wishing I did have the advertising because I have yet to have a Mercedes parked outside, but I'm in my joy and my bliss. And I think that's a good start for our story, my story.
Yes. Yes, because when you're in that bliss, this is accessing the Sacred Heart, do you think?
Absolutely, because I did not realize it at the time, because I had not had the length of life maturity here to have reflections and to see that every decision I was making, how it was leading me into where I am now with music as my joy. But accessing the Sacred Heart, what would happen was myself and a group of others would go around the world. And one of the main people I traveled with in the beginning was Solara, who brought around the 11/11 gatherings in Egypt and around the world. But we'd go and we'd have an event, and there'd be one, two, or 300 people there, and we'd be in a a large ballroom, and all the chairs were in a huge circle. We would never be in rows, no matter how big the gathering was. And so my keyboard would be in the circle, and the speakers would be in the circle, and we would spend about 9 days pulling off the mask of personality. And after the third day, something would happen because we were always all of us were focusing into the center of this circle, whether it's 50, 100, 2, or 300 people, and we start creating this unified field. And by the seventh or eighth, I mean, it was unconsciously created, but by the seventh or eighth day, there would be this palpable energetic in the field. And the moment you walked into that room every day, into the ballroom wherever we were having our meeting, you were immediately kind of lifted. If you had problems, you were lifted into this space. And for me, I witnessed it so many dozens and dozens of times. I was the one that set up the room, sound system, set up the chairs, and broke it down afterwards. And so I got to sit in that field when everyone left for a couple of hours after the events. And slowly, I found my heart kind of opening. And because as an anal retentive Brit, I did say it. It took me so long to get out of that mindset, and it was basically it was like a block of ice was around my heart. I was still a loving, open-hearted person, but I didn't realize that my heart was probably only open 2 or 3%. And this unified field and had the effect of slowly opening my heart. And as my heart opened, it was kind of like, oh gosh, what a lot of work I have to do on actually kind of sifting and sorting my thoughts and my feelings and my words. It's a lifelong task. It's a many lifelong task. And so, Charissa, where are we?
Well, I love how you're talking about cracking open your heart. Do you feel like it was your creativity or this unified field that was created through these workshops that allowed it to crack open even more?
Absolutely, because I had a really hard time letting love into my life. I did not know, and even I've been playing for quite some time, and even when I was in pop rock bands in New Zealand, we'd have 3, 4, 500 young people there just going, idolizing, and I had no idea. I was so shy and so closed off. I just had this screen around me. And but I think from one perspective that I was being protected because I didn't. If I went fully into that kind of rock pop world, we know the people who have not come out of the other end of that in a very healthy shape. And so I think I've been protected my whole life until I come to a place where my mind and my heart are actually not in control, but I'm actually looking at what's happening within my heart. And what happened, I worked with many greats around the time, many wonderful teachers, and I kind of cherry picked all of the best teachings from all of these workshops that I was at, and I created my own workshop called Accessing the Sacred Heart. And
Oh, amazing.
it was amazing. And one of my first trips was down to Argentina. And so everything was translated, even though maybe 60% had a good bit of Spanglish going down. And and so, for instance, there'll be 3-day workshops. And one of my favorite memories was we were in a tango dance center in Argentina. And
Yeah, I've been there.
yes, and
And to a tango center.
it's
Yeah.
a different planet, a really different planet, and the vibe there is very different because they've gone through hell and high water as many of our places on the planet have. But I had 70 people all lying on the floor in a mandala doing a rebirthing breath. It was amazing. And like for an hour. And I'd be just running around and just making sure everyone was keeping doing the holotropic continuous breath. And
Mm.
we almost lifted off the ground. And it's just all these pieces that I put together that started to open my heart more and my mind more. And you get to realize that I mean, we know it's all very trite, but we know that this is a car. This physical body is it's just a temporal thing that we use to express like we're doing now.
Yeah.
And there's so many ways we could go into this in this conversation. Um,
Yes.
but
Well, I've heard of that before, the breathing, the deep breathing, the holotropic breath, and how it can open up the heart. That's just incredible that you offered that workshop to people.
it was truly incredible. And in fact, I cannot even believe the audacity of myself. It's like, who are you to do this sort of thing? However, I did it. And it's a part of my history. And
Mhm.
but for now, what happens is there's such a need right now for positive vibrations to be sent out into the world. The global coherence pulse and all of our the heart math and all of these things that we're a part of, to really center in and send out from where we are. And I have
Mm.
a little credo that I go by, and this is kind of a challenge, I think, to all of us. And so my credo is if I'm thinking about something and I want to speak to somebody or anything, it's basically no criticism. Is there criticism in the thought process? No condemnation. Is there condemnation in the thought process? No judgment, no blame, and no gossip of myself or any other. And with those five, with that credo, you can literally come to a place of enlightenment with just that. Because what it does is you realize that nearly every thought has judgment, nearly every action has judgment or opinion. It doesn't mean good or bad, it's just an opinion. And that is kind of how we have become entrapped here in this physical form. I know
Mm.
we all go off at night and have our dreams and dance with the angels, etc. So.
Oh, wonderful. So, what does collective intent mean to you?
Collective intent, from my perspective, is when we're all intending the same thing. And like, for instance, what I'd like now that you've brought that up, Charissa, is everybody who's watching this or the replays, there's a field. Time and space is a construct. And there's a field that we're all in right now. And even though most of us are focusing through the mind onto the screen as we speak, let's just imagine we're sitting in a huge circle together, whether there's 2, 3, 4,000 people in this huge circle together, and we're facing each other. And we all have the same intent in that we are intending for a world of harmony where nobody is left behind, everybody is uplifted, everybody is able to express their own individual uniqueness. And so let's, in this moment, everybody tuning in. I know that there's focus here with Charissa and myself, but just, you can close your eyes for a minute
Are
and
we
just,
going to do a meditation? We just want to let
um,
people know. We're just going to do an exercise, or do you want to go into a meditation?
well, I guess we could do, yeah, why not? Let's go there.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
what I'll do is we'll just do a little brief meditation, but I would like us to just tell me if you can hear this.
Not yet. Now I can.
Yeah.
There we go.
So just imagine we're all sitting in a huge circle and close your eyes and take a deep breath. And gently inhale. And now exhale, letting your eyelids soften and close. And continue to breathe slowly and consciously and bring to your heart and mind these qualities. Inspiration and gratitude and joy and kindness and compassion. Now take another deep in-breath and slow yourself down and make the sound freeing any tension in your jaw and your throat. And take another deep in-breath and hold it for 4 counts. Then exhale a slow audible sigh, expelling all the air from your lungs, freeing the tension from your chest and abdomen. And keep your eyes closed and resume a regular breathing pattern and begin to become aware of life actually breathing you. And in your mind's eye, just feel that there's several thousand people around you, all coming from the center of your sacred heart, our sacred heart. This is the breath of life flowing throughout your physical body, a gentle flow, the river of life. Now be at peace with yourself and the environment around you, and know that you're in exactly the right place, at exactly the right time, with exactly the right people. There's no need to feel or think outside of this immediate field that we are creating. And visualize a golden sun hovering just above your head, shimmering, and feel it radiating warmth and pure divine light, cascading like a waterfall down through your crown, down through your third eye area, and flowing down through your throat chakra, into and through your heart center, cleansing and clearing your solar plexus, a river of pure light, and now down through your sacral chakra, and continuing on to flow out through your root chakra, into the ground beneath you, and down, 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 touching and anchoring into the crystal heart of Mother Gaia, Pachamama. And let your attention rest in the center of our Mother Earth for a few breaths. And now slowly raise your attention up through the earth, sensing the energy touching the soles of your feet, and slowly rising up again through your root chakra, your sacral area, your solar plexus. And now rest your attention back into your heart center and breathe. And be conscious of the connection to the crystalline core of Mother Earth. And be conscious of your crown, and keep your attention in your heart. And just now imagine yourself breathing directly into your heart. Imagining all the cells of your body communicating health and vitality with each other. Breathe a little deeper than usual and inwardly say, I am calm, I am centered. Now bring your attention to your listening, to your ears, and simply listen. And wriggle your toes and your fingers, and come back into your room, into your wherever you are abiding right now. And when you open your eyes, just see around you the huge circle of people in this unified field that we have created. We're all sitting together in this field. Charissa.
Thank you for that meditation and for creating this beautiful unified field. So how can these intentions and meditations that you do or that we participate in create a unified field to access our heart?
Really, it's consistency and, from my perspective, momentum. That I think that there are, how many now? 8.2 billion on the planet, and each of us has our own unique path. And for me, what has happened in the last 8 or 9 years is my focus, at least 60% of the day is on the divine, it takes a lot of energy and effort. But as we know, the path becomes narrow, and those who stay the path are few. And so I've decided to fully be a part of the few. And few as in FEW and PHEW, because the longer that I go down the path, the more calm I feel, the more present I feel, the more I'm able to elocute, the more I'm able to speak my truth. And I do notice my mind come in and in and in, and try and upset me, my the old ego that has guided our lives for so long and so brilliantly is now being asked to kindly be moved to one side as the divine feminine comes in. And so every single day, my commitment is at least 3 meditations of 20-25 minutes each. And the meditation can be guided, but you kind of need at least 10 minutes of that to be in full silence, complete silence, so that you can see how your mind keeps on trying to take the front seat again. And it's taken a long process, and I've been really, really frustrated with my inability to hold the silence for more than 8 seconds or things like that. But it has built over the last 5 or 6 years, and I can do a couple of minutes now, which sounds like nothing, but for me it's a huge breakthrough. And what happens is in that silence, you get expanded outside of the 5 senses, and in towards the 12 senses that Dr. David Martin has shown us that we actually are hardwired for within our brains, and that's another story.
Oh, yeah.
But
That's
but
amazing.
it's truly amazing, because we've been hypnotized throughout all of these eons into thinking there's only 5 senses. Holy smoke! And there are at least 12, and possibly many more. But because I've been in the past have been so stuck to my phone and stuck to this, that, and the other, I haven't given myself the time space to actually let in the truth of who I am. And it is in
Mm.
the silent meditation that the truth of who I am comes in, because of course in a guided meditation your mind is still being active, it's still wonderful and uplifting and heart opening and mind expanding. However, it's the silence which for me has continually created a unified field for myself. Like, for instance, before I even get out of bed, I start affirming the day. I am here in God, Goddess, with God, by God, and for God. You start programming your mind, because if you don't, all the other thoughts will start jumping in, and if the first thing you do in the moment is switch on your phone and go, "What's up?" you've already lost the plot. And most of us on this call, I know, remember a time when we had landlines, and you get maybe a phone call once or twice a week, and even that might have been an imposition. We don't have that space anymore, or we do, but we
Mm.
have to recreate it.
Yeah, create that
And
space. I love
it
that.
is, it
I
is.
and I think now would be a great time to play one of your incredible videos, your songs on Stream Plus. Omashar is on the Stream Plus platform. So if you subscribe, you will get access to some of his music that creates this unified field. So I wanted to play one song which I feel like is in alignment with what you're talking about, is trust. So, Trust to Love. Can we play that song, Jim?
Empty feelings find me deep in contemplation, waiting for the rise of Mother Earth. And we all know what we've come here for, and we all feel that our hearts are true, and together we will make it home, and we'll trust to love once walking through these fields of fear that before my attention. I don't live here anymore. I surrender to the flow that gives me new direction. All that's left to do is trust and fly. And we all know what we've come here for, and we all feel that our hearts are true, and together we will make it home, and we'll trust to love once
That was beautiful. It was very soothing. I definitely felt that in my heart, almost like a letting go in being in the flow.
It truly is, and I'm grateful that you pulled that one up, because when I hear that song specifically, it shows me how I'm not going at the speed of consciousness, I'm going too fast. And it took me at least half that song to calm down and to be able to listen to it. And then by the end of the song, I'm going, wow, thank you for that, Carissa, because I'm now feeling centered in my own heart. And
Ah,
I realize that I rush and I rush and I rush, and I miss the moment by rushing, not even knowing that I'm missing the moment. And for me to settle into a space of speaking, because nearly all of my communication has been done through music, and for me to actually speak and try to transliterate that which I feel, the song of life, which gets sung through me, but actually to speak it out is a different planet. And that song showed me how I was slightly out of sync with myself. And so thank you, Omashar, for bringing yourself back to yourself. So
it's so funny that you say that because I didn't have that song queued up to play first, but my intuition said Omashar needs to hear this song
it's true,
to
and that's
trust.
it is, and it's the unified field we're in. You know, we think we're these separated beings, and yes, we are individuated, and yes, we are all complete and unique to ourselves. But one of our spidey senses is if we get quiet enough, we can actually feel out into the into the unified field, and there are so many intentional groups around the world now, thousands of them, uh, who are intentionally setting the unified field because, as I think I said earlier in this conversation, the awakening, this is not a drill anymore. Now is the time to actually put some effort into your own life and turn off Netflix, I love you, and whomever else for at least 50% of the way where you go into it, and give that attention to yourself, because by you loving yourself, we're loving into the field. By you giving all of your goddess given energy to a TV screen, even though it's beautiful humanities team and it's us, there are different levels of
You can do that.
frequencies. Yeah,
We
different levels of,
we allow that.
yeah, exactly.
Stream
The,
Plus.
yeah, because it's a high vibe, and
That's right.
so and that is what we need to conjure up and get the momentum into ourselves again. Because how many of us, when we go off this call, what are we going to do? Are we going to sit
Mhm.
and meditate, or maybe write a list of gratitude, something to lift up the rest of your day? Or are we going to just, I don't know, close the door and wait for the next flow of divine spirit coming at us? I'm speaking to myself as well here, not everybody.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah.
love that you said that and tied that in, because I do feel that when I listen, and I'm always learning, I'm always watching on Stream Plus. I have it on my app, my phone, and I do feel better, and I'm just constantly expanding my heart and my mind. It's amazing. And we're so grateful that you're a provider and you're providing this incredible music. And I wanted to ask you about the video that accompanied the words. It's really magical. Did did you
Carry on.
make that with
Yes,
the
yeah,
song?
I
Oh,
have
okay.
I have a new passion, and it's really time consuming. And the new passion is to, because what happened is that I used to sell a lot of CDs, not online, but whenever I went to an event, I'd come back selling two, three, 400 CDs,
Oh
and that
my
was
God, that's incredible.
and that was not my lifeblood, because my lifeblood is my blood within my life, but that was what kept
No,
me.
but the abundance was
That
flowing. Yes.
kept me in fish and chips, and so. However, that stopped abruptly, and now everything is given away for free. All of my music is given away for, it's on Spotify and all of the other streaming platforms. And so, what is left for myself? Well, one, some benefactor will stroke me on the shoulder soon. However, for me to keep the passion going, I thought, well, I'm going to create videos for every single one of my songs. And because this is not an affirmation, goddess, all it is, but because no one seems to be buying my CDs anymore, I'm just going to make the most beautiful videos.
Yet.
And
There's a
yes, exactly.
affirmation to add.
Thank you, Carissa. I agree that
Okay.
we are lifting each other up in
Hmm.
process in this moment, in that which we put out into the world.
Yes.
And so I've basically, you spend hours compiling all these video clips, and then you I put a green screen behind me, and then I'll um, play the song live, and then I'll put all the video clips into it, and then put it out. And I'm kind of doing one or two a week at the moment. But that song we just saw was the only one currently that's all cartoon, and I kind of like that. It was kind of fun to do, and that's also the only song so far that is trans is. There's also a Spanish version of that you'll find out there, which is
Oh, incredible.
which is pretty cool, actually. Yeah,
I wanted
and
to share some comments from our audience about the song. So we have What a Beautiful Song. That was lovely, very uplifting, beautiful, beautiful. A lot of comments in the chat. So thank you, everyone. Keep them coming. And also, any questions that you have for Omashar as this incredible musician, creator, and being on this planet, we'd love to hear from you. And
yes, and hopefully might have time before the end of the show. I have a song that I would like to share with you. I'll play live,
yes,
and not
we
right
will
now, but
save time for that.
oh, that's great. It's yeah.
Yes.
It's
So you'll get to hear Omashar live, and at least you got to hear a little taste with the meditation, which sounded beautiful. Actually, the sound comes in very clear and super relaxing and meditative. So I wanted to go back to the source of your music. Can you tell us more about the metaphysical pop? Like, what does that mean, and the type of music that you create?
Well, I was classically trained, and it wasn't until I was in my early 20s that like a couple of days ago, when I actually learned how my mind was so locked into playing music that was scored. I couldn't even jam with everybody, so I had anybody. So I had to throw away my music for a couple of years and then come back into it from a different space. And After I started writing music for pop rock bands, and I gave that up, and I started writing only music that I felt was divinely inspired. In fact, I would even go as far as say that all the lyrics to my songs, they're all conversations from the source of all creation to me, to us. It's not me. I don't have any ownership of this music whatsoever. It just comes through me, and vice versa. So all the lyrics need to be listened, not don't need to be, but they need to be listened to from the perspective that this is the source of all creation talking to you, and what do you get out of that? But I find that people will interpret the music as is their consciousness. Like some people will look at the music and they'll just think it's about humans having love with humans, and maybe it is. It's still a good perspective, that's not how I write it. And so what happened was people started. I have all of my songs have classical elements in them, but I realized that people's attention span is not that long, and what I have to share is basically a recipe on how to go access the Sacred Heart, how to find your way home again, because it's not me talking; it's the homing signal coming through my music. And
Yes.
someone said, what is your music called?" And I said, "Well, I don't want to label my music. I don't want to be labeled. I don't want to. I don't do time and space. I don't do age. How dare you label me?" Then I thought, hang on a minute, I better label myself. And so, what is this music? And it just came. It was metaphysical pop music. It's pop
Yeah.
music because it's written
Not
in.
the company Meta. Just kidding.
No, yeah, well, Meta has been around for a long time.
Yes, Meta. Yes,
Mr.
Metatron.
Mr.
Yep.
Man, who we know you are. However, it's a pretty cool title for your company. I do agree that it's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
so metaphysical pop music, bite-sized nuggets of truly uplifting music. Even this chord structures are created in such a way that they'll vibrate your body back into some kind of wholeness, depending upon how you walk the rest of your day. But the lyrics kind of come in because your mind kind of needs to be held whilst your body's being worked on, so to speak. And
Right.
so I label myself metapop, and so that's my genre, is metapop. And pop sounds a little bit, I don't know, not strong, but it's not. It's bite-sized nuggets of divine inspiration.
Oh,
And
I love it. It is inspiring. And we do have a question from our audience. How did you make the connection with Scott Katimus?
Scott Katomas, he
Katamas, thank you.
sorry,
Thank you.
Katomas, and then he um, serendipity. It's all serendipity. By that I mean that I was living in the middle of the Pacific for a long time, and I'd made a move to Colorado, which is quite a shift when you're moving from the tropics to gosh, you can wash a pair of jeans here, leave them wet, hang them on the line. An hour later, they're bone dry. That's because of the lack of humidity, the minimal humidity and the height. And it took me a long time to get over it, and to get acclimatized. However, when I came here, I was looking for. I got an email, probably from Deborah Giusti, saying this program, the Global Peace Tribe, is happening. And at that time, I think it used to be called Alive Saturday Night Alive. And it was created as a gathering place after COVID came and had its way with us. And so I came on one night and I felt immediately akin to this whole network of people talking that which we are talking here in Humanities Team, and between you and I, Charissa, and I basically subscribed and noted that the caliber of the presenters and the musicians was absolutely top shelf, and it was all sharing tools and tips on how to come back into our own divinity again. And so after a couple of weeks, I reached out to Scott and I said, well, you know, I have this music and I feel that it kind of would fit in with what you are putting out into the world. And so I know that he had maybe, you know, 50, 60 people a week knocking on his door, but he, for some reason, his heart was called to my heart, and we had a private Zoom meeting, and I played to him, and he said, come and play on my show. And then 3 months later he said, well, you know what, we are looking at actually installing house musicians, would you like that position? And I said, well, that'd be awesome, because I ain't doing anything else at the moment.
Cool.
That was that was not true, but it was, I mean, it was true, but I didn't think that, because I had no live gigs, there was nothing happening, we were all masked, we were all you know,
Yeah, it was a
the
perfect divine
a
opportunity.
perfect setup. And what it did for me was first having this HD screen in front of me. I'd never been so vain in my life. Holy smoke! It's like what, your eyebrows 7 inches to the left or whatever. But once I got over myself and realized that this is actually a medium in which we can
Yes,
connect the whole world. Wow!
it's
And
incredible.
it's incredible. And if you get past that, we're just looking at a box, but we're in a field with everybody who's tuning in right now. It starts to become palpable. And what happened with me with the shows that I've done with Scott is that we sit in circle with each other twice a week, on Wednesdays and Saturdays in the awakening world, and it's phenomenal. And it's given me a reason to keep myself polished, and at the same time, live events are starting to come up again, which is really, really cool, because if I'd been sitting on my haunches for 3 years, not polishing my craft, then it would be, you know, like getting back on a horse with
Yes.
one boot on. And so,
Well, you'll have to let us know about the live events too, for those that are in Colorado or somewhere in the US. So keep us posted on those. Well, I'd like to play another song available on the Stream Plus platform. And this
maybe
one,
we'll just play just a snippet of this one. We're getting towards time, aren't we? And
um,
so,
I got this. I got you, Omashar. I, you're good.
thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Receive, trust. Remember your song, Trust to Love.
I do. Thank you.
Okay. And I just wanted to share this first video. It is the first video in Omashar's collection, and it's available for free. You don't even have to be a member of Stream Plus. So let's play this song, please.
Love is all there is, all there is. Put your hand in mine. Keep open your heart. We are loved divine. Love is love is all there is. Love makes you feel good. Love is perfect. Love is all there is. Anything less is nothing. Love's for everyone. Love is in everyone. Love is you. You are love. Love is. Truth is in everyone. Love is truth. Truth is love. Love is. Love is. Love is.
you, lives in you, touching you, guiding you. Love is in everyone. Love is you. You are love. Love is. Truth is in everyone. Love is truth. Truth is love. Love is. Love is. Love is. Love is Love is Love is all there is. Put your hand in mine. Keep open your heart. We are love divine.
Thank you for that. That was so beautiful. And we are getting towards the end of the interview, and we'd love to hear a live song. Omashar, can you play a song for us?
Yes, indeed. That was very touching for me to watch that. I don't always rewatch my stuff, and in there is, of course, my beautiful daughter and all of her friends at a wonderful time of our lives, and that just exemplified all the love pouring out from all those people. And this is a recent song, and it's called "Hypnotized," and what it is basically talking about how we have become hypnotized by media, by corporations, by everything that is happening. And I'm just looking for something here, my dear, because we do this, and then we do this, and the song speaks for itself. So it'll go silent for 1 second, and then we'll be with you.
Now we recognize we've been hypnotized. The spell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise. The truth of life itself is now realized. Love is reaching through the hearts of me and you. Our world is waking up to our different points of view, 'cause now we recognize we've been hypnotized. The spell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise. The truth of life itself is now realized. Ba-da-da-da, da-da-bum, ba-da-da-dum, bum-ba-dum, ba-da-da-dum, bum-bum, ba-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da. So shake yourself free of the past. No longer do we walk in the dark. Let's show each other what we can do, and let our light shine right on through, and let the good of humanity stay, and let the dross simply fade away, and let the mother return to us all, so that love can have her way. Cause now we recognize we've been hypnotized, the spell is wearing off, and so now we rise with higher frequencies. There is no disguise, the truth of life itself is now realized. So shake yourself free of the past. No longer do we walk in the dark.
Because we're not hypnotized anymore.
Yes. Thank you. That was profound and beautiful. And I love the pace of it too. I couldn't help but move and shake. You're saying, let go the past.
I know, right?
You want
I love playing it because when I first start coming into it, there's a part of me which is still tense as a human being. And by halfway through, I think this is kind of groovy.
Yeah. Well, do you have a final word that you wanted to say from Barbara Marx
Yes,
Hubbard? Go ahead.
do. Maybe Barbara Max Hubbard was not beginning of anything, but she was a part of my life.
Okay.
One of the songs I wrote called Spiral Through the Stars was based upon a graphic that she put out of the Earth spiraling through the stars. And she has a little saying, which I'd like to leave us with here, Charissa. And basically, this is Barbara Max Hubbard's words. And she says, I am love. I love the source of all creation above all else. My neighbor is myself, and myself is an awakening conscious being. I am wisdom. I distinguish what is breaking down from what is breaking through, and I let go of what is breaking down. I am faith. I know there is a perfect design of creation, each of us a vital element in that design. I know I am now acting in perfect harmony with that design. I am courage. I know that I'm not working alone. I am surrounded by mighty companions on this earth and throughout the universe beyond. Together we walk towards our inevitable awakening. I am patience. The timing is not in my hands. I live in eternity and I act in the present. I am fulfilled. I surrender all need to know the timing and I act in joy. I am power. To the degree that I empower others, I am now empowered. And finally, I am surrender. Not my will, but thy will, on earth as it is throughout all of creation.
Thank you, Omashar. And thank you, everyone, for joining us for Accessing the Sacred Heart, creating a unified field through song, meditation, and collective intent with Omashar. His music, Meta Pop, is divinely inspired and available now on the Stream Plus platform. And if you join now, you'll gain access to his songs and videos and also other incredible programs, hundreds of other spiritual teachers and programs. We're proud to say that Humanity's Stream Plus is the largest global streaming platform for consciousness-raising masterclasses in transformational education. And we are a nonprofit and also give back with our one-for-one program. I wanted to thank Steve Farrell, Dee Meyer, and the production team, Jim Gray, Garth Catterall, Andy Gutsky, Karen Weissert, Nanette Kennedy, and the rest of Humanity's team. Blessings.